Today we will discuss the properties of Laplace transforms. The first property of Laplace transform is linearity property. So what is linearity property? Linearity property states that if f1 of t has a Laplace transform f1 of s and the ROC for f1 of t is, let us say, r1, then f2 of t has a Laplace transform of f2 of s with a corresponding ROC of r2, then a linear combination of f1 and f2 will have a Laplace transform a1 into f1 of s plus a2 into f2 of s, and the corresponding ROC for the linear combination of f1 and f2 will be the intersection of individual ROCs, the common area between the two individual ROCs. That will be my ROC of the linear combination of two segments. So this we have to prove. The proof is very similar to what we have done in the Fourier transforms, right? So in the proof we'll have first f1 of s we can write as Laplace transform of f1 of t, which is nothing but integral minus infinite to infinite f1 of t into e power minus st into dt. This is f1 of s. Similarly, f2 of s is going to be integral minus infinite to infinite f2 of t e power minus st dt. Now we'll find the Laplace transform of the linear combination, right? We'll take the linear combination and take Laplace transform. So Laplace transform of a1 f1 of t plus a2 f2 of t is going to be integration minus infinite to infinite. In place of f of t, now I have the linear combination. So I'll write that linear combination multiplied with e power minus st into dt. Now I will write two separate integrals, right? I can make this as two separate integrals, a1 f1 of t e power minus st dt and a2 f2 of t e power minus st dt. I can separate the integration. Now since a1 is a constant, I can bring it outside. Here a2 is a constant, I can bring it outside. So I'll have a1 integration f1 of t e power minus st dt plus a2 integration f2 of t e power minus st dt. Now this integral is nothing but f1 of s, and the second integral here is nothing but f2 of s, right? From the definition of Laplace transform, we know the first integral is f1 of s and the second integral is f2 of s. So replace those integrals with f1 and f2 of s. This is what we have. So we have proved the linearity property of Laplace transform, right? So that is linearity property. Next, we will look at time shifting property. What happens if I shift the time domain signal? I'll have a corresponding phase shift in the Laplace domain. In the Laplace domain, I am introducing a phase shift e power minus s t naught. And the ROC, there is no change, right? My f of t has Laplace transform f of s and it has some ROC r. Now if I time shift my signal, my input signal or the time domain signal, if I shift the time, if I shift the time signal, then there will be a phase shift in the frequency or the Laplace domain, but the ROC remains unaffected. ROC will not change, right? So time shifting will not affect the ROC, right? Linearity, in case of linearity, my ROC is intersection of the individual ROCs. Now we'll prove time shifting here, right? So time shifting, I'm going to find the Laplace transform of f of t minus t naught, f of t minus t naught. So in place of f of t, I'm going to substitute f of t minus t naught, right, in the Laplace domain, sorry, Laplace transform definition. Now t minus t naught, I'll replace it with y, a dummy variable y. So if I replace t minus t naught equals to y, then what is dt? Dt is equals to dy. Since t naught is a constant, differentiation of t naught of a constant is going to be 0. So dt equals to dy. And I will also check for my limits. When t is equals to minus infinity, what happens to y? Minus infinite minus t naught. Then y is equals to negative infinity, right? When t is equals to positive infinity, y is equals to positive infinity. So my limits here are not changing when I change the variable from t to y. So my Laplace transform is nothing but minus infinite to infinite, no change in the limits. F of t minus t naught is now y, and e power minus s. So in place of t, I can write y plus t naught, and dt is equals to dy. So I can write dy. Now this term e power minus s into y plus t naught, I can write as multiplication of two exponentials, e power minus sy and e power minus s t naught, right? Since e power minus s t naught is independent of the integrating variable, right? It is independent of y. So this is a constant, so I can get it outside. I'll get it outside the integral. And what is left? Integration minus infinite to infinite f of y e power minus sy dy. Now y is just a dummy variable, right? Now I'll just replace y is equals to t. What happens? F of t e power minus st dt, right? So what is this entire integral? It is nothing but Laplace transform of f of t. What is Laplace transform of f of t? It is f of s. So we have f of s into e power minus, this is e power minus s t naught, not j omega. It is e power minus s t naught, right? So if f of t has a Laplace transform f of s, then f of t minus t naught will have the Laplace transform f of s multiplied with e power minus s t naught. So that is how we'll prove time shifting. Then this is shifting in the Laplace domain or S domain, right? Shifting in the S domain. This is similar to the frequency shifting in Fourier transform, right? In Fourier transform we had frequency shifting. Analogous to that, in Laplace transform we have shifting in S domain. We don't call it frequency shifting here, we call it shifting in S domain. So what happens if there's a shift in my S domain? There will be a corresponding phase shift in the time domain signal, right? That is what we are going to show. So we'll take the Laplace transform of the time domain signal here, e power s naught t into f of t, right? When we take the Laplace transform of this signal, how can we write it? We'll write it as integration minus infinite to infinite, the signal that is present here, that is e power s naught t into f of t multiplied with e power minus st dt. Now these two terms I will combine. What will I get? Integration minus infinite to infinite f of t e power minus s minus s naught, there is no j here, e power minus s naught into t dt, right? So what is this? This is nothing but f of s minus s naught, right? F of s equals to this one. Now f of s minus s naught is nothing but, in place of s, I have to substitute s minus s naught. That is nothing but this integral. So I can write this integral as f of s minus s naught. So this is my shifting in s domain. So what does my shifting in s domain state? It states that e power s naught t multiplied with f of t will have a Laplace transform f of s minus s naught. That is the shifting in s domain. The next property of Laplace transform is time scaling, right? Time scaling. What happens if I scale the time domain signal? How will my Laplace transform change? And how will the ROC be affected, right? If f of t has a Laplace transform f of s with ROC r, then f of at will have a Laplace transform 1 by mod a f of s by a, and the ROC is going to be r divided by a, right? R divided by a. Let us prove the Laplace transform of f of at. So what is the Laplace transform of f of at? Minus infinite to infinite f of at e power minus st dt. Now at, now when for the first case I'll consider a greater than 0. Now at, I'll substitute at equals to y. That means dt is now going to be dy divided by a, right? Divided by a. And the limits will not change. Limits will be minus infinite to plus infinite. Now if I substitute these assumptions here in my Laplace transform equation, I'll have integration minus infinite to infinite f of y e power minus s into, in place of t I can write y by a, right? In place of t I can write y by a. In place of dt, now I have dy by a, right? Dy divided by a. Since a is a constant, I took 1 by a outside the integral, right? 1 by a outside the integral. Now if you look at this, again what I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute y is equals to t, right? Y is just a variable. I'm just going to substitute some dummy variable y is equals to t. What happens? F of t, or let me write it separately, it's going to be 1 by a integration minus infinite to plus infinite f of t e power minus, in place of s I have s by a, right? In place of s I have s by a into t dt, right? Now what is f of s? F of s is this integral. In place of s, if I write a, sorry, s by a, what happens? So in place of s here I have s by a, right? Is this the same as this integral? Yes, it is same. So in place of this entire integral, what can I write? I can write f of s by a. So here I have 1 by a and f of s by a. 1 by a f of s by a, right? So that is first case. Second case, a less than 0. What happens? A less than 0, what happens? I will get negative 1 by a f of s by a. Why? When a is less than a, sorry, when a is less than 0, what will happen to the limits of y? Original limits of t is minus infinite to plus infinite. Now y limits are going to be, what is y? Y is going to be a into t. A is a negative number, right? A is a negative number. So in place of minus infinity, if I substitute in place of t minus infinity, I have a minus infinity here and multiplied by a negative number. It becomes positive. So infinity. And if I substitute t equals to infinity, positive value multiplied by a negative value, it becomes negative, right? So my new limits will be integral infinity to minus infinity, and the rest of the thing is same. Now I'll interchange my upper and lower limits. So I'll make this negative and make this positive. So what happens? I will introduce a negative sign. So this negative sign is nothing but this, and the entire integral is similar to this integral. So I'll get 1 by a f of s divided by a. So I'll combine both equations 1 and 2. And what does it state? If a is a positive value, I have 1 by a f of s by a. If a is a negative value, I have negative of 1 by a. So negative of negative is again positive, right? Negative of negative is again positive. So whatever the value of a, whether a is positive or negative, my multiplicative factor here is positive, right? Here in this case it is positive. In this case I'm multiplying by a negative sign, so it becomes positive. So what does that mean? That is going to be 1 by mod a. Whatever the value of a, this entire multiplicative factor or the coefficient has to be positive. So 1 by mod a into f of s by a. So this is my Laplace transform of f of a t. F of a t has the Laplace transform 1 by mod a f of s by a. So this is time scaling. Right? This is time scaling. So if I put a is equals to -1, if I put a is equals to -1, what happens? F of minus t will have the Laplace transform, 1 by mod -1 is nothing but 1 into f of s by -1 minus s. So this is my time reversal, right? Laplace transform of time reversal, right? So this is a time reversal in Laplace transform. So this is a special case of time scaling. Special case of time scaling is nothing but time reversal when a is equals to -1. The next property is conjugation property. What happens to the Laplace transform if I take a conjugate of my time domain signal? So Laplace transform of f conjugate of t, right? This is what I have to find. So what I'm doing here is, first I'm writing the Laplace transform equation. F of s equals to minus infinite to infinite f of t e power minus s t dt. So I will take a conjugate for the variable s. I'm going to take a conjugate for variable s. So in place of s, I am replacing s with s conjugate. I am replacing s with s conjugate. So what happens? F of s conjugate is now equals to minus infinite to infinite f of t e power minus, in place of s I am going to substitute s conjugate t into dt. Then I will take the conjugate of the entire left hand term, left hand side, right? I am taking a conjugate of the entire left hand side, right? What happens now? If I take a conjugate of this, I'll have f of s conjugate whole conjugate, right? F of s conjugate whole conjugate, right? That is nothing but f conjugate of s conjugate, right? And on the right hand side I have this integral, so I'm taking the whole conjugate of this entire integral, right? This integral I'll get on the right hand side. Now if I take the conjugate inside, right, that means I'm taking conjugate for this and this separately, right? So what happens? Integral minus infinite to infinite f conjugate of t, and then e power minus this whole conjugate, means conjugate and conjugate gets cancelled. I have e power minus st dt, e power minus st dt. So this is nothing but Laplace transform of the function here, that is Laplace transform of f conjugate of t, right? Laplace transform of f conjugate of t. So what did we prove? We proved Laplace transform of f conjugate of t is nothing but f conjugate of s conjugate, right? Or you can say f star of s star, right? So that is the conjugation property of Laplace transform. Then we have convolution in time domain. So what happens if you convolve two signals in time domain? What happens to the frequency domain in Fourier transform? It is nothing but multiplication of individual Fourier transforms. It is the same here. If I convolve two signals in time domain, the Laplace transform is multiplication of individual Laplace transforms. And the ROC is now intersection of individual ROCs, just like what we did in the linearity property. The ROC is now intersection of the two individual ROCs. So the proof is very similar to what we have done in Fourier transform. So this is the convolution integral. If I convolve two signals in time domain, how will I write in terms of integration? Integration minus infinite to plus infinite. The first signal f1 of tau and the second signal f2 of t minus tau. Right? First signal comes as it is. The second signal is reversed and shifted and reversed d tau. Now I'll take Laplace transform on both sides. What happens if I take Laplace transform on both sides? What is the formula for Laplace transform? Minus infinite to plus infinite f of t e power minus st dt, right? This is the Laplace transform. So in place of f of t, what do I have now? I have f1 of t convolved with f2 of t. Now f of t is nothing but f1 of t convolved with f2 of t. Then what is f1 of t convolved with f2 of t? This entire integral, right? So in place of f of t, I will write this entire integral. I have substituted the entire integral. Okay. Now I will separate the integrals. Before separating the integral, I am taking a small substitution. T minus tau is equals to t. Okay. T minus tau equals to t. So in place of small t, I can write capital T plus tau. Capital T plus tau. And if I differentiate dt, what will I get? I'll get d capital T. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the integrals. Tau terms separately and t terms separately I will take. So the first integral I'm going to take f1 of tau e power minus s tau d tau. That is going to be my first integral. And whatever is left, I am going to put it in the second integral. That is f2 of capital T e power minus s into capital T d capital T. Right? So what is this term? This term is nothing but Laplace transform of f1 of tau. Laplace transform of f1 of tau or Laplace transform of f1 of t, it is the same. It is f1 of s. And the second integral is f2 of s. So it is nothing but multiplication in Laplace domain or S domain. Convolution in time domain results in multiplication in Laplace domain. That is the Laplace transform. Convolution property in time domain. Then the next property is differentiation in time domain. Differentiation in time domain. So let us prove the differentiation property. When you have a differentiation in time domain, how does the Laplace transform change? Write an expression for f of t first, right? We'll write an expression for f of t in terms of its inverse Laplace transform. The expression for inverse Laplace transform is this: f of t equals to 1 by 2 pi j integration sigma minus j omega to sigma plus j omega f of s e power st ds. This is the general formula for inverse Laplace transform, right? This is the general formula for inverse Laplace transform. So now I will differentiate on the left hand side and the right hand side. What happens? D by dt of f of t is equals to d by dt of this entire term, right? D by dt of the entire term on the right side. So what will happen now? Now I will try and interchange the order of integration and differentiation. I can interchange the integration and differentiation orders, right? First I can write integration and then I can write differentiation. So what I can write on the right hand side, 1 by 2 pi j is the constant, so I'll keep it outside for now, and then integration sigma minus j omega to sigma plus j omega f of s, this d by dt, right? Differentiation with respect to t. This is the only t term I have here. This is the only t term I have. So I'll write d by dt of e power st, right? E power st ds. Now, if I differentiate this term here with respect to t, what will I get? E power st multiplied with yes, e power st multiplied with yes, right? So this can be replaced by just s into e power st. Now f of s and s, I'm going to combine it into one term. F of s and s, I'm going to combine it into one term. So if you look at this integral here, if you look at the integral here, this integral, what is it of the form of? It is in the form of inverse Laplace transform expression, right? General expression of inverse Laplace transform, right? This is nothing but Laplace inverse of what? My Laplace transform, that is f of s. So in place of f of s, what do I have here? I have s into f of s. So how can I write this one? I can write it as Laplace inverse of s into f of s. That is how I can write. So df of t divided by dt is equals to Laplace inverse of s into f of s. Now if I get this Laplace inverse to the other side, what will happen? It will be Laplace transform of df of t divided by dt is equals to s into f of s, right? So that is my differentiation in time domain property. So df of t by dt or d by dt of f of t will have the Laplace transform s into f of s. Now, so far we have considered for bilateral f of t. That means my f of t is defined for both negative values of t and positive values of t. So what happens if my signal is a causal signal? That means it is defined only for values of t greater than or equal to 0. How will my Laplace transform change? If I differentiate in time domain, and if my signal is a causal signal, then what is the Laplace transform of d by dt of f of t, right? So far what we have proved is d by dt of f of t when f of t is a non-causal signal, right? It is defined for both positive values of t and negative values of t. Now what we are going to do, we are going to find what is the Laplace transform of d by dt of f of t when my f of t is a causal signal, when my f of t is only defined for values of t greater than or is equal to 0, only for the positive side of t. Now, if we consider a causal signal, for a causal signal, the Laplace transform is going to be, instead of minus infinity in the lower limit, I'm going to have 0, right? I'm going to have 0. So I'll take Laplace transform of d by dt of f of t. That means in place of f of t, I am substituting d by dt of f of t. Now, this is nothing but, right, e power minus st d by dt of f of t. This is nothing but in the form of u dv form, right? This is my u and this is my dv, u dv form. Integral u dv is nothing but uv minus integral v du. Now, when u is e power minus st, what happens to du? Du is equals to e power minus st multiplied with minus s, right? E power minus st dt multiplied with minus s, and dv is equals to differentiation of f of t dt. So integral of dv is going to be integral of this thing. So integral and this differentiation will get cancelled. So integral and differentiation will get cancelled. I have v is equals to f of t. V is equals to f of t. So all these things will get cancelled. So I have du and v. So what is my Laplace transform now? It is going to be equal to uv minus integral v du. Uv minus integral v du. And the limits are going to be same. Whatever limits we have here, the same limits will continue. Now my Laplace transform is going to be equal to, what is u? U is e power minus st. So e power minus st multiplied with v. V is f of t. So f of t, and for this my limits are 0 and infinity, right? 0 and infinity, 0 and infinity. Then minus integral v du. So minus, let us assume for now, minus integral, the limits are same, my v is nothing but f of t du. Du is s into e power minus st dt, right? St dt, and I have a negative sign. That negative sign combined here, it becomes positive, right? That is the same thing I have here, and that is the same thing I have there, right? Since s is independent of t, it is written as a constant outside. Now I'm going to substitute my limits here. In the first term, I'm going to substitute my limits. E power minus s multiplied with infinity, that is e power minus infinity. E power minus infinity is 0, right? 0. So on the right hand side I have 0 minus, when I substitute t is equals to 0, this term goes to 1, and what do I have? I have f of 0 minus f of 0 plus yes, and what is this? Integral 0 to infinity f of t e power minus st dt. Look here, 0 to infinity f of t e power minus st dt. It is nothing but Laplace transform of f of t. Laplace transform of f of t is nothing but f of yes. So that is what I have here. So for a causal signal, if I differentiate the time domain signal, my Laplace transform will change like this, right? My Laplace transform is going to change in accordance to this expression. That is for a time domain signal. This is for one differentiation. Now what happens if there are n number of differentiations? How will my Laplace transform change? So this is the general formula for n number of differentiations. D power n of f of t divided by dt power n will have the Laplace transform s power n f of s minus summation k equals to 1 to n s of n minus k d power k minus 1 by dt power k minus 1 into f of t at t equals to 0. At t equals to 0. This is the general formula for a differentiation in time domain for a causal signal, right? For a causal signal. If my signal is non-causal signal, then this entire term goes to 0. This entire term goes to 0 if my signal is a non-causal signal. So d power n by dt power n of f of t for a non-causal signal is going to be s power n into f of s, right? S power n into f of s. So now let us try and write the Laplace transform for differentiation in time domain for n equals to 1, 2 and 3, right? d by dt of f of t. This is nothing but first differentiation f dash of t, right? What is the Laplace transform for a causal signal in case of a causal signal? In case of a causal signal, the Laplace transform is s into f of s minus f of 0. Now, in case of a double differentiation, that is d square by dt square of f of t, my Laplace transform is now going to be s square into f of s square into f of s minus k is equals to 1 to n. My n here is 2, right? N is 2. So 1 to 2. When I substitute k equals to n is going to be 2, right? So 2 minus k. K is now 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So s power 1 is s. D power k minus 1. K is 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So d power 0 by dt power 0 of f of t, which is nothing but f of t. What is the value of t? T is 0. T is 0. Minus my k is equals to 1 is over. Now I have to write this term for k is equals to 2. When k is equals to 2, 2 minus 2, this is 0. S power 0 is 1. And d power 2 minus 1, that is d by dt of f of t. F of t at t equals to 0. So that is f of 0. So this d by dt of f of 0, how can I write? I can write it as f dash of 0. I can write it as f dash of 0. F dash of 0. Similarly, for d cube by dt cube of f of t, that is third order differentiation of my f of t, my Laplace transform is going to be s cube into f of s minus s square into f of 0 minus s into f dash of 0 minus so there will not be any s, right? Minus f double dash of 0, that is d square by dt square of f of t at t equals to 0. So if you look at this, my first term is going to have f of s and its coefficient is going to be whatever the differentiation term, whatever the power of differentiation term I have, the same power I'm going to raise s, right? S to the same power here. So s cube into f of s. So now my s cube term is over. Then I have minus s square term, right? S square term. So s square term I'll multiply with f of 0. Then s square term is over. Next I have to go for s term. Negative s. F of 0 is over, so I'll differentiate this f of 0. That is f dash of 0. Then s term is over. Then my constant term minus, what is my constant term? Differentiation of this f double dash f dash of 0 differentiation is nothing but f double dash of 0. Like that, for any number of any value of n or any number of differentiations of f of t, we can find the Laplace transform for a causal signal. This property of, or this equation or Laplace transform equation, it is very important in solving systems using Laplace transform, right? It is useful. We'll look at the problem solving for this at the end of Laplace transform discussion. The next one is differentiation in S domain. So what happens to the Laplace transform pair? So let me take the Laplace transform expression and we'll just differentiate my f of s. If I differentiate on both sides, what will I get? D by ds of f of s, that is equal to d by ds of this entire term. Now I'll take this differentiation term inside. So what will I get? Integration minus infinite to plus infinite f of t d by ds of e power minus st dt. Right? Now if I differentiate this term, what will I have? E power minus st. I am differentiating with respect to s, so I'll multiply it with minus t. So this term here, right? Let us assume it is some x of t. It is some x of t. So what is this of the form of minus infinite to plus infinite x of t e power minus st dt, which is nothing but Laplace transform of x of t. That is nothing but Laplace transform of, what is x of t? Minus t into f of t, minus t into f of t, right? Laplace transform of minus t into f of t. So what does this say? Laplace transform of minus t into f of t is nothing but what is on the left hand side? D by ds of f of s. Laplace transform of minus t into f of t is nothing but d by ds of f of s. That is differentiation in time domain. So what happens if there is multiple differentiations of my s domain, multiple differentiations in my s domain? I'll have this in the time domain. My negative t is raised to the power of n. How many ever differentiations we have on the right hand side? The same number of differentiations we have here on the, or the same power we have on the left hand side. So minus t power n, minus t whole power n into f of t has the Laplace transform d power n by ds power n into f of s. Integration in time domain. This is similar to the Fourier transform integration. So very similar to Fourier transform. You can just go through it. Then integration in S domain. Integration in S domain we have. So I'm taking f of s. I'm taking f of s and I'm integrating it from s to infinity with respect to s. I'm integrating with respect to s, and the limits are now s to infinity. Now here I'm interchanging these two integrations, right? Minus infinite to infinite f of t and s to infinity e power minus st ds and dt. Basically what I'm doing is I'm separating the t terms completely and s terms completely, right? Now if I integrate this part, what will I get? E power minus st divided by minus t with my limits s and infinity. Limits yes and infinity. I'm substituting those limits and this is what I arrive at, right? I'm substituting the limits. So what happens now? F of t divided by t, this minus and minus gets cancelled. F of t by t e power minus st dt. This is nothing but Laplace transform of this function. Laplace transform of f of t by t. So Laplace transform of f of t by t is nothing but integral s to infinity f of s ds.